Yeah, the first thing, I promised to talk to you about plane crashes. Remember
Okay.
in the last podcast I
Yeah,
mentioned?
yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to do that today.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to do that maybe on the next podcast because something else came up, something occurred to me that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Severance,
The TV show.
the TV show.
Well, we've talked about that already too.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, because we have to be careful. We can't, no spoilers,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't want anybody listening to this thinking, oh, they're going to spoil it for me. We're not going to spoil it.
Okay.
Okay. So Severance, as you know, is a TV, what is it, Apple
TV. Yeah.
Apple TV, yeah. It is, I don't know if it's like the number one show of all time or anything like that, but I think it's Apple's number one
Oh, definitely.
TV
It's
series.
Apple's number one.
Yeah, it's Apple's number one. I mean, there are others that do more, and I don't even watch them all. I don't watch any of them.
Yeah.
But I did watch that one. I know you watched it. And the thing is, when I first started watching it, it seemed like it was going to be what it turns out not to be. It seems like maybe it was going to be like a parody of corporate life or something like that.
It is.
Well, that's
is.
worked into it, and it is funny. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff in there.
But it's more dramatic.
It's more dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of hinges on sci-fi, psychodrama,
Yeah, I think some people are calling it a thriller.
a thriller.
Okay. I don't know if it's a thriller.
It's hard to thrill me,
Okay.
but it is fun.
Mhm.
It is fun. They have some.
They're doing a good job at continuing the mystery as we go along, revealing little things
Right.
and then creating new mysteries along the way.
Sure. So just setting the stage. It's about this mysterious company called Lumen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Lumen, by the way, I looked up what Lumen means. I mean, obviously it means light or enlightenment
Yeah.
or something like that. Because it's got all these spiritual, connotations
Right.
throughout the kind of culty, weird stuff.
Yeah, cult-like
Like
stuff.
honestly, almost satanic, actually.
Yeah, sure.
So this mysterious company has this process that they offer some employees where they actually sever your consciousness into two halves, into two pieces. And it's not even a half, it's just into two separate pieces,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you show up for work one day, you get into the elevator, and whatever it is, some Wi-Fi thing kicks in, and they've implanted this little Neuralink, into your brain, and it activates a new consciousness. So now you have two consciousnesses, but you only have one when you show up for work, right?
Yes.
So you show up for work, and then you do whatever they want. And
Right. Well, you have to include the part where one doesn't know about the other,
yeah. So one does not know
or
about
knows about the other, doesn't have the memories of the other.
Sure.
So
yeah.
they're two separate people.
Right. I just didn't get to that yet. But yeah, so you show up for work, you become this new person in the this new consciousness in the elevator, and then you just show up for work and you perform work, and you don't know what's going on outside of that. You don't know what's going on outside of work in the real world.
Yes.
So you become what they call an innie, and then the person you were before you showed up for work that day is the outie.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you get back in the elevator and you ride down, and then you go back into the real world, and you're no longer in the work world. And one side is not conscious of the other side.
Yeah.
So you have two separate consciousnesses. So when you're unconscious, I'm calling it unconsciousness. It's sort of like a struggle between consciousness and unconsciousness. When you're working, they control you. They tell you everything that they want. You don't know anything. You know basic stuff like about the real world. I mean, you know that there's cars and people and things, but you don't know what your life is like outside. You only know what they tell you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have this reward system and a punishment system, and you think it's all normal. So here is the corporate parody type stuff. So they have this guy who comes in and he congratulates you on your various accomplishments. What's the character's name? That black guy.
Oh, Milchek?
Yeah, Milchek.
Yeah.
He's happy and smiling all the time, and he's always alert, and he's congratulating you and rewarding you if you do your job well. You get some ridiculous thing like I don't know,
they give, one of the things is like a melon party.
Yeah, they have a melon party
and perks like a pencil sharpener or erasers and
you
stuff
think,
like that.
and they tell you that that's wonderful, so you believe it.
Yeah, right.
Which definitely parodies corporate life, because corporations, they have like, hey, it's Dress Down Friday. Yay, that's so wonderful. Yeah. It's Dress Down Friday. We get to wear jeans today. And you think that's the greatest thing in the world.
I remember when I worked at school, I had a job when I was in college, and on Sundays they would order us pizza.
Yeah,
so
I was going to mention that.
It was like, yay, pizza. And nobody's actually excited for pizza. It's just like, all right, we get pizza. But we're supposed to be like, woohoo, it's pizza time.
It's pizza time. Yeah. We still, Friday nights, we should do that when I worked at New York Life. We should do pizza time all the time. And when I was down at Wall Street, they got a little hinky. It was always like, okay, mandatory drink time. And everybody would go out and get drunk.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. And then
I feel like that's an authentic excitement. That's
but
it's a little bit more real than
well, you know what we used to do?
Pencil sharpeners, but
yeah, what would you rather do? Would you rather go out and get hammered, or would you rather have a pencil sharpener?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to get we had like 300 guys in our office in Garden City, and it would be okay, man, we would work late. We would work till like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night sometimes. And like 9 o'clock at night, you know, the head guy we'll mention his name. He's infamous. He would say, okay, mandatory drink night. Everybody hang up the phones and put on their jackets, and all the cars would spin out. We'd all hit the bars, you know. So that kind of thing, you think it's, and then we'd come back drunk and be working and start working again, get on the phones and talk to clients in that condition. It was terrible. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what everybody did. I never got that way. They used to get into bar fights and all kinds of stuff. Guys would come in the next morning with black eyes and broken arms, and it was really crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
well, this is no longer a glimpse into corporate life. This is just some crazy company that's going off the walls.
Yeah, we were a crazy company. We went off the wall. But back to crazy companies that are normal, like Lumen. That's what they do. So they have that innie existence, and they have an outie existence. And what's really interesting, it's supposed to be sci-fi. It's supposed to be psychodrama. What did you call it? Thriller?
I guess, yeah.
And it's not. It's real life. That really is what's going on. That's the thing that really interests me, is that it's real. It's a depiction of what really goes on in people's lives.
What do you mean?
Every single day. Well, we have this struggle. It's consciousness versus unconsciousness. And when you're unconscious, or when you're an innie, you don't know what's going on in the real world.
Okay.
And they have this procedure. What's it called? When they hit the two switches, and they can actually bring someone from the innie world, the non-reality, to the reality world.
Yeah, sure.
What do they call that?
I don't know, overtime. Contingency overtime.
Yeah. Contingency overtime. They have a contingency overtime. That is when you become conscious. That's meditation. That's what I equate it with.
Well, okay. I don't know about this analogy. You're saying that the person on the inside is the conscious one, or the unconscious one?
No, the person on the inside is the unconscious one. They have no perception of reality. They only the reality that is created for them, that they are being controlled with.
All right. Well, then you extended it to the overtime thing, but in the overtime thing, the inside person becomes awake on the outside,
right?
Which would mean that somebody is unconscious now.
Yeah, it's not a perfect
it's the
analogy.
opposite.
It's not a perfect analogy, but what happens is they wake up. For whatever reason, they think that it's good to wake this person up slightly as a reward of some kind. Is that what they're doing?
No.
Well, they have this process where they wake you up and you get to see.
Yeah, that's like for emergencies.
For whatever emergency. Yeah. But the problem is that once you wake up, you then become a little bit conscious, and you start to wonder. And that's what the tension is building in this show, is that the people are wondering what it's like on the outside, and now they're getting to see what it's like, and they're kind of yearning for awareness.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
Yeah. So my connection with that is that it's almost like a spiritual battleground, which is real life. We're in this spiritual warfare right now.
Okay.
All of every human being battling between consciousness and unconsciousness. So I see the connection there. It's kind of cool. I like it. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I would love to see, you know, in the seasons to come, where maybe some of the characters actually are able to experience both consciousness and unconsciousness, and the conscious part sees that they're unconscious, and they kind of blend together, and they kind of repair themselves. There is a process where they become conscious, right? That they have there was one guy in the beginning of the show who actually became conscious, and he died, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
So, yeah. So now, if I were to write more seasons, more episodes coming in future seasons, I would have somebody wake up and see what a horror show that they've been in, and then try to actually mix them both together so that they see the reality and the unreality and let reality prevail over the unreality.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they're going to do.
I don't know. I think the analogy is a bit of a stretch, if we're being honest, but yeah, I think part of it that it's hinting at now is that what they're trying to accomplish is some sort of barrier from emotions and emotional trauma, things like that.
Right.
So they're creating like almost like an untouched person who doesn't have the emotional baggage that their outie has.
Right.
So that's what they're creating. They're creating like this blank slate. Is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a blank slate because when you're unconscious, you don't know that you're unconscious. You just think that that's your world. You know there's a better way, but you don't know what it is.
You're still trying to make I don't think the analogy works.
I see the analogy.
I don't think it works.
I see the analogy. Well, I'm not writing the show, but the thing, and I won't give it away, but the final closing scene is really interesting because it's depicting a struggle between someone who's looking at reality and he has to make a decision. Do I go with reality or do I go with the unreality where I am right now because I'm not really aware of reality anymore? So which do I decide? And I won't give it away, but we don't know what the choice is going to be. I know what it should be. You should always choose reality, but we don't know. So it's kind of interesting. I like watching the show. I'm looking forward to the next season. I didn't see the first season. I don't want to say binge watched it, but I kind of watched it all this season, both seasons in the same season.
No, you didn't binge watch it.
That's what I said. I didn't binge watch it.
Binge watching is when people watch like literally one episode right after the other.
No, I said I did not.
They get through like a season in like a weekend.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
I would never do that.
Yeah,
that's I'm too busy for that.
I don't know how people do that. It's so weird.
They have nothing else to do. You just get a bag of popcorn and get into bed and close the door and put on the TV and turn out the lights and then just watch a show.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Part of the show is the satire of the corporate world, like what we were saying, right?
Sure.
And how it's inauthentic, how they aren't, they're doing things that aren't actually fun and they're pretending it's fun, right?
I don't know. Do they think it's fun?
They probably think it's supposed to be fun. That's the idea. Is that they have a fake. The idea is that their innie is like what the corporate world would want a person to be like.
Right.
It's like just a worker. That's it. And they think little melon parties are fun and they get perks and that cheers them up and makes their day and stuff like that. When nobody really cares about that. But that's the idea. Right. Is that it's like a perfect worker who actually loves that kind of thing. Yeah. But it's inauthentic. It's not real. Nobody actually cares about that.
How about the waffle party?
Yeah, well, that was weird. But anyway, so in talking about authenticity, the fact that they made the show that speaks to authenticity and what's real and what's fake and creates a parody of that.
Right.
It goes to something that's happening right now in modern times where everybody's just craving authenticity. We don't have authenticity. Like we have a parody of that corporate world now in this TV show that's making fun of how all jobs are. It's like nothing's real, nothing's authentic.
Right.
You don't even filing complaints or trying to speak to managers, like, well, I have to forward this to this and then we'll get a form signed and then this will come back to you. It's like, why can't I talk to somebody? Why can't I figure out what's going on? But that's how the corporate world is. That it's not just the corporate world. It's most jobs are like that.
Yeah.
And so now people are making fun of it because I think what's happening is we're having I'll say, especially with all these podcasts, like, okay, we started this podcast, right? So people could hear us speak, right? We didn't start a show where we sit down and have, fake applause.
Yeah, it's not a performance.
Like right. It's not a performance.
Right.
It's just us talking.
Yeah.
And that's what people are craving now. It's like, I just want to hear people talk. Because you're afraid you're not hearing real opinions and real thoughts when you have that level of performance. And it's probably true. And of course that bleeds over into politics because we have the authentic. I mean, that's been the complaint from the left about the right for about 10 years now. It's like, why do you like Trump? The first answer people give who aren't into politics, they say, well, he's authentic. He's real. I know what I'm getting. And they say, yeah, but what you're getting is horrible. It's like, well, at least you're horrible too, but you're pretending you're nice. At least I know what about him I like and don't like, you know? So the authenticity is what people really like. It's a lack of underhandedness.
Right.
You feel like you're not being taken advantage of.
Right.
You know?
But also that's how they indoctrinate people that way into a certain type of thinking.
What do you mean?
In other words, it's not authentically you, the corporation or the company or the political party or whatever it is actually running their tapes and making you watch them so that you will believe them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I wanted to show you this clip that just came out the other day with Elizabeth Warren, who is of course a top general in the Democrat Army.
Yeah.
And she's a senator from Massachusetts, from here.
Right. Crazy as a loon.
The only reason I say that is because we do have listeners in England who have no idea who she is. Total progressive, total. She actually basically wrote Obamacare, by the way. So I'll just play this. I want you to watch her reaction.
Okay.
Okay, and think about authenticity.
Okay.
And think about how the Democrats have been acting about their candidates and about their platform for the past 4 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in
She's
sentences.
laughing.
Is not
She knows
praise.
how ridiculous she
Fair
sounds.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This is like
Look,
She actually broke character. She broke character. She started laughing to herself at how ridiculous it is.
this is Ralph Cramden. You know?
But she realized how ridiculous the scenario is where
Yeah.
somebody's like, Senator, come on.
Yeah.
And she's like, he said, and she wasn't ready for it. You say he's sharp. Was he as sharp as you?
Right.
And she's like, she starts laughing.
Well, I have to be honest with you. That's the most authenticity I've ever seen on her.
I
ever.
know, and she's trying not to let it out.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. This
Yeah.
is the first interesting clip of her in her entire life.
Yeah.
Because she broke character.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
Because she's the weirdest person. She's also the one with the beer clip, right? Where she was trying to be
when
authentic.
she had the beer?
Fake authenticity.
Yeah.
Where she's at home and she's like, I'm just going to pop open a beer. And she's at home. And then her husband walks in like, hey, honey. And she says something like, I'm glad you're here with me today. It's like, isn't it your house?
Yeah, right.
What do you mean?
Did you just get here?
Yeah. What does that mean? She doesn't know how to be authentic. And if they embrace that, they're gonna gain back some popularity too. But I don't know.
Won't. I don't know what they'll do. No, what they'll do is they'll probably bury it
This
somewhere. Yeah.
I don't know. You would think by now they're so smart they would realize that this is what people are looking for.
This is what people want.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they just openly admitted, like, yeah, Joe Biden went, he was totally just out the door. He was gone.
Yeah.
They would do better.
They
right?
would do better.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it'd be the first time that they're actually telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So but this happens in the corporate world. It happens in politics. It happens when you're doing business. You got a call today from, should we say who it is? I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble.
Google.
It is Google, yeah. But this is going to be on YouTube, which is owned by Google. But anyway, we can't worry about that.
The guy didn't do anything bad.
No, he didn't do anything bad, but he's like looking for me. He's coming to you, looking for me. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, so I was on the phone with them last Friday, and they helped me. I was thinking about running ads. I was looking into things for the business, whatever. And so they want me to run these ads. So he's giving me some advice on it. I'm looking into it, and I finally get off the phone with him, and he says, okay, somebody will call you in a couple days and help finish it. So I get the call yesterday, and I'm on the phone with this guy, and he was very nice. He wasn't ill-mannered. I have nothing bad to say about him, except he's talking to me as if neither of us are real people. He's talking to me as if we are both characters in a script that he's memorized or something. And he's like, all right, so you will press this button here. And I'm like, okay, well, what happens if this or something? He's like, and he doesn't know what to say. And I'm like, well, I'm just asking you, like, you do these things all the time. You're a person. I'm a curious. It was like he had never encountered a curious person before,
Right.
that he's doing business with.
Right.
And I'm like, listen, and one of the ads couldn't run because the content had some political stuff in it.
Right.
So it clearly says, there's like a flag on it that says political content ad cannot be shown or something, or cannot be shown in the United States. It's like they can show it in England or Australia or whatever other English speaking, but won't be shown in the US. Of course, the US is the biggest market.
Why do I get so much political stuff?
Well, you don't. Not from Google. But anyway,
Okay.
so that comes up and he's like, all right, hit run. It's like, all right, your campaign is running. And I'm like, we're both looking at this same screen. And I'm like, well, I can see that it's not running in the United States.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, well, it could take 24 hours. And I'm like, no, it says that there's a policy violation and it won't run in the United States. He's like, oh, and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like he was just going to let that go because according to the script that his corporation gave him to memorize,
Right.
he hit all the points. I hit the green button and he did his job. And I'm like, listen, I'm just talking to you as a person right now. We can both see that this ad is not running.
Yeah.
And yet we're both supposed to get off the phone right now with 2 thumbs up saying the ad's going. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
we know it's not. Why are we doing this? And he just didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do.
He's I've run call centers.
Yeah.
He's working in a call center.
Right.
So he doesn't actually have to be a technician. He has to be good at running the scripts.
He has to be good at running the scripts, and that probably works for most people.
It does.
But when you encounter somebody who is somewhat sentient,
Yeah.
I mean, who is looking at the screen with him,
Well, you're not the only sentient person in
I know,
America.
but I'm looking at errors on the screen.
Yeah.
And he's just like giving it a thumbs up. And I'm like, I know it's not working.
Right.
You also know it's not working.
Yeah.
But you're telling me everything's okay. It's like the fake, I don't know, it's the fake corporate thing.
It's corporations. It's not only, it's like the corporation thing, but it's in everywhere. It's in the politics, or it's in politics, like with her.
Yeah.
It's in religions, especially. You have a lot of inauthentic religious people.
Oh, yeah.
Practices, hypocritical, ministers and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, by the way, the guy called you today.
Yeah.
The original guy, he's probably trying to track me down.
Yeah,
Even
he
he
was.
could call me because
I gave him your direct line.
oh no.
Yeah.
Because I paused the ad.
Yeah.
I paused it. And I wrote an email back to the other guy.
Right.
And I said, I've decided to pause it. I said, I'm not going to be continuing at this time. I'm not thrilled with how the election policy thing was handled.
Right.
And I'll let you know if I want to continue. So they're probably like, they're unhappy that I'm not
Yeah.
spending money. So I don't know. But yeah, religions have that too.
Religions have it, spiritual. There was, going back to that prayer meditation workshop that I did last weekend at that place. And, one of the things that there was another, I'll say, competing meditation session going on there too, that same day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nothing like what we do. It was, we do non-contemplative meditation.
Right.
They do
Eastern Buddhist.
Yeah, Eastern Buddhist
type
stuff. And I was thinking about,
sometimes Hindu,
basically, Buddhism and Hinduism. Yeah, what they do is they use these. Is it mudra?
I don't know. I would think it's mudra.
Mudra. I don't know. It's got the word mud in it, and it makes things very muddy. That's
Okay.
why. Okay. And that's to me, that's one of the most inauthentic spiritual practices I've ever seen. Now, I'm not trying.
Mudras?
Yeah, mudras.
Those are like hand positions or
Yeah,
something?
they have these hand positions.
Yeah.
And they have all these. The whole idea is that if you can you can actually channel energies through your body, and you can actually channel energies out of the universe into reality. And depending upon how you position your hands, they have different they have wall charts for hand positions. I know that we do this. These are praying hands. That's very simple. What they've done is they've taken something very simple and complicated it, just like just like inauthentic people tend to do all the time. So they have all these weird positions that you can do to alter outcomes, either in your body or in the universe or in people.
Yeah, they're supposed to like manifest certain types of energies.
It's the same type of thing as manifestation. Yeah, it's like spell casting. It's like witchcraft. It's sorcery is what it is.
Yeah, in a way.
They have different I was going to bring one to show you, but you can envision it. They have like wall charts for all, your hands go like this, and if your hands go like that, and if your hands go like this, and then you can generate wealth, and you can generate wellness, and you can fix your liver issues, and it's like really crazy. It's
Right.
All different type. They got one that goes, I don't even know what they are. They go like this. And they point to all of these like celebrities that are all doing this and are all becoming successful by doing these hand positions. And there is something to be said about doing this, not this, but whatever they're doing.
It's like something children do.
Well, to me, it's very childish.
What, this one?
Yeah, this one. What is that? Is that a mudra?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Okay. Did you? Is that a real thing? I didn't just make that up. Actually,
yeah. This
I remember
is like
doing that when I was a
what
kid.
kids do.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, Aunt Kate used to do that. Believe it or not.
yeah. My mother used to have one. She goes, "Here's the church, and here's the steeple.
Yeah.
Open the door. Oh no, you got to go like this.
No, you did it fine. Oh, you want to do it this way first?
Yeah. No, you have to go like this. Here's the church. I don't think the camera can see it. I don't think.
Yeah, the camera can see it probably.
Here's the church, and here's a steeple. Open the door, and there's the people.
Yeah, but then you do it without.
How do you do it without?
Just like that. And then you say, open the door, where are all the people?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
No, in my world, my mother's world, everyone was always at church. Yeah.
Yes.
But,
the hypocrisy is insane.
Well, the thing is, there's something really simplistic about putting your hands together, because when you put your hands together.
Wait, did she go to church?
My mother?
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
When I knew her, when she was in her older age, I don't remember her going to church.
No, actually, she kind of stopped, I think. And
it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. She might have gotten some special permission from a bishop or something. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It was all, my whole family was so hypocritical about
By the way, speaking of the word bishop, I was actually going to bring that up. You're talking about religions becoming inauthentic versus authentic.
Right.
Even the word bishop, right?
Right.
Bishop. Originally, I don't know the actual Greek word, but when they started using that word that became bishop, it meant like an overseer. It meant somebody in charge, basically.
Yeah.
So it was a somewhat secular word. The word could appear in civic life and government organizations, whatever. It's like, the overseer, the guy in charge is the bishop. Okay. And over time, it's become such a religiously charged word,
right?
Because they started using it because it made sense. It was we have somebody who you go to him when you need some help, and that's become like the bishop. It's become like the guy with the hat and he wears the robe,
the mitre.
So it's become something that it wasn't originally,
right?
So I'm just pointing that out. Even word choices, they become sanctified, and all of a sudden they over the years begin to mean something that they didn't mean at first.
Yeah, so a bishop is, when I think of bishop, I always think of Catholicism, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Eastern Orthodox probably has bishops.
Yeah, they probably have that too. Yeah, I think of them as it's almost like princes.
Okay.
In a monarchy, you know what I mean? The Pope is the king.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you have all of these.
Yeah, they're nobles.
They have this hierarchy,
right,
going through. Yeah.
Well, they were very powerful.
Oh yeah.
In like medieval times, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, still powerful now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you saying about hand positions?
Yeah, well, so originally, we had hand positions. Well, you always see pictures, not photographs, but you see, paintings and etchings and whatnot of saints. We call them saints because they have their hands like this.
Okay.
When they're communicating with God.
Mm.
Okay, and usually they have their eyes closed and they're doing that. Well, that's what you do when you meditate. Now, what are they doing? Well, if you look, they also put an aura around them sometimes.
Yeah.
When you meditate, you do feel that, and you do feel. I'm not saying that somebody's going to walk in a room and see you glowing. That's not what I mean. But you do feel warmth in your hands, and you can feel it in your head. And there is an energy that actually that is generated. There is something called life force. Okay, it's not the kind of thing, the New Age thing where you're sucking energy out of the universe and casting it and changing outcomes and altering people's thoughts and things like that. That's sorcery.
Well, some people say this position, the two hands together.
Yeah.
And some people say clasped hands. Other people say this comes from Eastern religion.
Right.
Some people say it comes from one of those poses,
and
that Christianity adopted it. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true.
No, I know they were doing that for a long time, probably maybe before the Christians, I think.
Yeah, well, they do the thing with the arms out too. They have like this thing,
Yeah.
where they do this.
No,
So,
they've taken something very simple and complicated it. Egos get involved, and they make it into this complicated thing where you're not relying on God anymore, the energy from God. You're relying on energy that you're generating yourself and forcing things to happen.
you're creating like almost like a man-made science out of it.
So when you meditate for real, or the way
Pray, whatever.
you put the pads of your fingertips or your pads of your fingers touch like this. These are the most sensitive parts of your body, really.
Okay.
And you do feel what?
Some homunculus knowledge there.
Homunculus?
No, homunculus.
Homunculus.
Have you ever seen homunculus?
No.
I'll show you in a minute. Okay.
Okay. So you put these together, and then you look, and when you close your eyes and you see the speckles of light, you see little stars.
Yeah.
Inside there, that's not imagination, okay? Because when you separate from your thoughts, you're separating from the noise, and you're actually perceiving neuroelectrical activity inside of your brain. You're not seeing your brain. You're not seeing the gelatinous matter of the hemispheres or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you're actually perceiving something that's there anyway. You're not making it happen. See, that's the difference. They think they're making something happen.
Yeah, they're conjuring.
They're taking
Right.
out of the universe and forming it into their own will. Okay, but when you meditate non-contemplatively, there's no will involved, and what you're doing is you're actually sensing what's already there. You can't help it. The energy is already going from one, exchanging between your palms and between the pads of your fingers. So you're actually noticing it. That separates you from the noise.
Now, those people are definitely doing something.
Oh yeah,
They're not doing nothing.
No, they're doing something.
They're not playing with make-believe. They're playing with something real.
Yeah, they're
doing that.
That's right. That's right.
Let me show you a homunculus.
But in order to understand what I mean by that, you have to come to a certain understanding that there are forces in the world. There is light. There is dark. There is energy. There is gravity. There is positive and negative charge moving through the universe, and it's love and it's hate.
Yeah,
and one is from God, and one is from the other guy, and one is from heaven, and one is from hell. And when you step back, hell happens to have a very good grip on intellect and it can actually manipulate thoughts. That's where your thoughts come from. It's your thinking when it's out of control. So when you separate from that, you allow just natural energy to flow through you. That's from God, and you're noticing it, and you're just noticing. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're just noticing it, and that puts you in a position where you're receiving the will of your Father instead of the other guy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know if I could show this. Nah, I can't show it. It's inappropriate. This one's all right. Homunculus.
Oh.
Kind of nasty, right?
That looks like the guy down at 7-Eleven.
What? So that's homunculus.
Yeah.
And it is a
What is it?
It's a human. It's a guy.
That's a human?
It's a little man.
Okay.
It's a representation of what you would look like if the number of nerve endings actually correlated with the size of the body parts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's also the more realistic version. There's a middle part to homunculus that's missing in this image that I can't show. So that's why I'm going to use this image.
I'm thinking of the middle part that's missing. I don't want to see that.
Well, don't think about it anymore.
Are we not seeing it because it's small?
No, it's not.
Oh,
no, it's not small. But it's scientifically, you got a lot of nerve endings there. Anyway, so really big lips, really big hands. Is what you see, and pretty big feet too. Those are where your nerve endings are. Okay. So it just reminded me of what you were saying about your nerve endings and your fingertips.
Right.
You got a lot there, as you can see. You do have a ton there. You feel everything on your finger. Versus someplace like I don't know. They have the small of your back or like right above your butt. That's like pretty small.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that many nerves there.
Right.
So anyway,
yeah,
that's small. It's a scientific thing.
Right.
Homunculus.
All right. So don't be homunculus. Homunculus. What is it? Homunculus.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think it just means, I don't know what it means. Homunculus. It's
Humun
man.
is human.
Yeah, it's man.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you were also mentioning saints in Christian iconography.
Right.
I don't know if I've seen that many. You would have to show me an example. There's the praying hands, which is the classic.
Right.
I think that's from the 1800s.
No, that's way before.
If you
that.
could find images, I would be interested in that. But one thing you see in Christian iconography a lot is you do see hand positions that almost look in some ways like mudras or whatever you say.
Yeah.
One is you'll see this one where it's like one finger curved, the other one pointer finger straight up, thumb is touching the ring finger, this kind of thing. You'll see this. I don't know. It's like, what does that mean? And I guess in the Byzantine tradition, which is like Eastern Orthodox, it's like a blessing. It's like a sign of a blessing. It also apparently somehow it spells out Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but these are all constructs. These are things that people created for symbolism and gestures for symbolism. And
this is already like 1,000 years after.
No, what I'm doing here
Christ.
is real. This really happens.
Right. But I'm talking about these hand symbols that appear in not just the Eastern tradition, but there's some of that hand stuff in the Christian tradition too.
Right.
Now, people don't actively, try and conjure things with them, which is good. But it always used to weird me. Yeah, it always used to weird me out a little when I would see these weird hand positions.
Yeah.
Actually, the most famous one is probably
Is this going to be Jesus?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And it's this one with him, which is, we see this one a lot. See that guy?
The Frank Zappa?
Yeah. So that version of
oh, I see. Yeah.
Jesus iconography.
Right.
Where he's doing that hand symbol.
Right.
And that's they call that Christ the what was it called? Christ the Pantocrator, which is a weird word, but it basically means Christ Pantocrator means Christ Almighty, and it's very common in the Greek church. And he's always doing that hand symbol. It's when you see him with the circle around him doing that hand symbol.
Right.
So they're into that a lot. Apparently, it somehow means Jesus Christ, the hand symbol. It's also a blessing thing.
Yeah, but it's invented.
Yeah. Also in the talk about something that is or isn't invented in the Catholic tradition. I don't know if Greeks do this, but there's the Orans pose. Right, which is where they put their hands. Some will just do it like this. Other ones will put their hands all the way out. You want me to get an image of it?
34.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's like a really old one. Yeah, so that's like an ancient depiction of it.
Yeah, you want to look at the old ones. You don't want to look at the new ones, because the new ones they've made to conform to their religious constructs.
Oh, okay, sure, but priests still do it now. They do it when they do the Lord's Prayer in church, and they'll some of them put their hands all the way out.
Right.
But I guess it comes from the Bible, they say, because there's like the raising hands up, like raising holy hands up and things like that.
But what they've done is they've converted that into their churchianity, a lot of it, especially a lot of
Churchianity?
Churchianity.
Okay.
They're not doing it right. There's a right way. When you look at like the real old, I guess they're paintings. Are they carvings or paintings in the catacombs and things like that?
I'm not sure.
Back, you'll see like that. I don't know where that one's from, but you'll see people meditating or praying with their palms out.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
You never want to do that. I don't even like doing it now. It feels gross to me.
Okay.
Because other things arrive and that want to get involved. That's why we always do it this way. It's closed, it's God, and it's an exchange. It's within. God is within. You don't want to be inviting things to come.
Yeah, I think a lot of evangelicals like the hands out.
They do that too.
I know
what they did then, okay, what they did then is, and you never close your eyes. They're always with the eyes open, and it's with other people in the room. No one sits there going like this.
Yeah.
Okay. They might be doing that, but they're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. What you're seeing there is not everybody can do this, okay, effectively. In fact, you don't really see it anymore. I mean, I know that there are rituals within the Catholic Church where the priests do that, but what they're doing, he's assuming the role of Jesus.
The laity are not supposed to do it, by the way.
Right.
The priest does it.
The priest does it because he's a representation of Jesus.
Yeah, in a way.
So this is all symbolic.
Yeah.
But when I talk about energy being able to enter and enter the world, so to speak. It's God's energy. It's not the energy of the universe. It's so when you see somebody going like this, when you see the old depictions, they are with their eyes open. They are looking at people. They may you may occasionally see someone like you might see their eyes upward like this, but their hands are outward like that. They're not like this.
I think
they're that way.
I think it might come from a more polytheistic religion in the Middle East. I'm not 100% sure, but where you would offer yourself to, a divine spirit at a shrine or something like that. That's some people think it comes from that. But it is supposed to be like offering yourself,
Yeah. But that's what it symbolizes. I'm telling you, there is an actual practical thing that's real, that's mystical, that happens if you're the right person, if you are sinless, if you have no sin in you, and you are connected with God. Just like when you meditate, you're like this.
Yeah.
Right? If I were a saint, so to speak, I'm not a saint, but if I were a saint, well, forget about saint, because you could be sinless and not be a saint yet. But if I had no sin, I could go like this, and I would actually be, I don't want to say projecting, but I will be welcoming God's grace and holiness into the room with you, if you would receive it.
Okay. Well, you just did it with your eyes closed. You said don't do it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, I know, but I went like that because I started like that, but I would go like that. It's always when someone is in a room with other people.
All right.
You don't do that by yourself.
All right.
Yeah. So there is a real thing. You're not going to,
well, you're going above my head now.
I shouldn't say that there's no one on earth that can do that now, because there might be. But what I'm saying is that back then you had more people able to do that. You had more followers of Christ directly who were able to actually bring God's grace into a room and would actually be able to share it with you. It's not something that happens anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for today.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah, I have to go to the chiropractor.
Okay.
So I have
fun.
I go every 2 weeks for the chiropractor, and I'm going today.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.